I'm excited tonight. We have two wonderful people and very good presenters with us today. MP Malo. MP is from Quebec, certainly one of the top officials in the world today. We were all very pleased that MP was able to referee the gold medal game at the Tokyo Olympics this year. Certainly credit to her professionalism, her hard work, the quality of her game, and the effort she's put into her game, and excited to have her. The great news about MP refereeing that game was sitting not far from courtside was our other presenter, Nadine Crowley, who was there in Tokyo as one of the two referee instructors. Nadine is respected around the world for her knowledge about the game and the way she imparts that knowledge. The two of them have combined on a presentation for you today, titled, as you can see, Dead Ball Officiating. I've had the pleasure of seeing the presentation before. There's a lot of learning in this presentation, and we certainly thank MP and Nadine for being with us today. And I'm going to turn my video and my microphone off and turn it over to the two of you. Thank you and welcome.
Thanks a lot, Mike.
Thank you so much.
All right. Good evening, everybody. I'm glad to see so many people on the call tonight. I'm sure in Ontario, it was a beautiful sunny day, so I'm sure that I hope everywhere else in Canada was just as nice. It's probably our last, but anyways, thanks a lot to CBOC for inviting MP and I to do our little traveling roadshow. We appreciate, I know I can speak for MP, that we're really honored to share this process with you, and hope that you leave tonight's session with a desire to add or maybe just revisit a new habit to your toolkit. Okay, so we're just here to share a little bit of something with you. So for tonight, 3 learning objectives. The first key objective is to basically identify the 3 essentials of dead ball officiating. So we'll be talking about that. The next one is to describe the mapping system that is used to successfully officiate dead ball situations. And the third one is that we hope that you gain a better understanding of the importance of having a mindset of readiness, we call it, anytime the whistle blows. So this is what we hope that after tonight's session, you have a better understanding of.
Awesome. So just to start with, well, hello everyone. It's so happy to be here tonight to go over this presentation with Nadine, and thank you for CBOC also for having us. It's just a great opportunity to continue the chain of education and to be with you all tonight. So Nadine, we have a first poll, right?
Yeah.
So the first poll is that we're curious to know like who are our people online tonight. So we will send a poll in the next couple of seconds, and we'll just be curious to see what is your current role or position. So if you can answer this as your highest level, as there's maybe more than one. So we're just going to give a couple of seconds to everybody to just answer that first question, just to be more interactive with you guys. It's going fast. Maybe 10 more seconds. Five, 4, 3, 2, got 10 more. Okay, we're gonna end the poll. Okay, so we see that we have, let's say 42% of high school officials, some CCA, some youth sport also, 22, one or couple FIBA official, retired supervisors. It's good to see supervisors, assigners, and coaches to be there too. So that's great. I think that our presentation will be a great asset to everybody, whatever your role. So Okay, let's get back to the presentation. Okay. So let's start with some definitions. So what is dead ball officiating? So if we go and look in our FIBA referees manual, we can find the actual definition. So the definition refers to any actions that take place after the referee makes the call and the ball becomes live again. Dead ball officiating is primarily proactive and requires that the two other passive referees become active during the dead ball period. As well with this definition, active mindset is an important one also, which is refereeing is nothing but being ready. Good referees are constantly analyzing the movements and action of the players in order to be in position to see something illegal, look for a reason to call illegal. So with those two definitions, we could add, let's say, stay with the play. Those are themes that are very linked to our dead ball officiating, and that will be like very important tonight that we're gonna talk about it. Okay, as we continue, if you want to write down this, thank you for muting your mic. Thank you so much. If you want to write down one of this famous quote that says, "When the ball is dead, be alive." It says it all, right? The ball is dead, our antenna should go up. This is where trouble happens, and there's times that we even needs to be more alert. So we talk about like games that are very tight game, like close in point, last minute of the game, that last second shot, that there's after a hard foul, cheap shot, when the players are trying to each other. If we need to be more alert that something may happen. Sometimes when the coach on the sidelines get pretty active, this is where we need to be more detail oriented, use self-talk, sweep the floor, find our partner, find the clock. It's all about building new habits. So when the ball is dead, be alive. Wrote down this quote, and we're gonna go through our presentation today, and it's gonna help you be more alive when we have a dead ball situation.
Excellent. Thanks, MP. All right, so I want everybody to just take a minute to reflect on and think about a moment where you had a challenging dead ball situation that you've experienced in the past. So try to visualize sort of the sequence of events. Take a minute to maybe write it down, and just, jot down maybe one or two things about it, because we hope that, at the end of this presentation, you'll revisit this event, and use some of the mapping process that we'll provide you today to assess what you could have done differently. We've all been there. We all have these situations, and we can all learn from these. These are what I call teachable moments. And if we take the time after each game to reflect on certain situations, that can help us going into the next game and the next time you encounter certain situations. So take a minute, think about it. And we're gonna have a poll here. So this poll is what it says. Which category comes to mind regarding this challenging dead ball situation that you experienced? So, was this after a foul? Was this after a violation call or a missed call? Was it during a timeout, during a throw-in? This has happened to me before. During an injury where you go to check out the injured person and you're bombarded with with people and comments, or happened to me with a parent coming on the floor. And anyways.
What about the mascot? The mascot?
Well, I'm not even going there. A lot of people who know me in Ontario know the mascot story that ruined one of my games. Hard fouls. That's a challenging situation. How you dealt with a hard foul, a fighting situation. Not many of us have encountered fighting situations, so oftentimes it can be quite a surprise when you do. And so this is about being better prepared for it. A challenging communication with a partner, player, or coach, or any other situation. So we're going to have a poll. And so we want you, yes, Bill, thanks.
Choose only one, huh?
Just
only
choose
one.
I choose all of them.
Almost halfway.
Some people can't see the poll. Maybe it depends probably if you are on maybe a phone or an iPad. Sometimes you can't see the poll.
Mm-hmm. Nadine, can you see the answers?
Yeah.
I think if you check perfect. in the more under the poll was above chat. That's how I got it back.
Okay. So go to more, the little dots.
It's not there anymore, but it was when I went there the first time.
Okay.
All right. So I'll give you 10 more seconds, 101 of 120. Give you 10 more seconds and we can go to the poll. All right. The poll is officially closed. All right, so let's see. So we have the top ones are fouls, hard fouls, fouls and hard fouls. Let's just look at those two for a second, because I think those are quite common where, you know, we call a foul, everybody stops, everybody's looking at us, and what we often do is we call the foul and then just walk right to the table or run to the table, whatever. That's why we walk now, so we can take our time and we can see more of what's going on in the court. And so when we do that, we call the foul, what we do is we disengage from the play and we're focused on, oh my God, who was the number, who fouled, how many shots, blah, 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 right? What's the signal? And we forget about making sure we take care of the players, especially after a hard foul. After a hard foul, we want to wait at the spot a few seconds longer to make sure everybody clears. And I think something that's really important to share is that you make sure the person who was fouled is taken care of, so they don't jump up and retaliate. We live in Canada. A lot of hockey players play basketball. First thing they do is get up and retaliate. So we have to make sure we stay with the person who was fouled a bit longer to make sure everything's okay. Then we can clear the spot. So that's just one tip on those fouls and hard fouls.
And we can call it that, just to stay on the scene of the crime, you know, just stay there for a couple seconds, and we'll talk about it later, but just stay on the crime scene before we leave and, you know, move on.
Excellent.
We're good?
Good.
Nice. Awesome. Okay, so let's highlight some few essentials of dead ball officiating. So the first one is awareness. So awareness, focus, concentration. This is what dead ball officiating is all about. First thing first. Then communication. So to be aware of the situation, what's happening, but then we need clear, decisive communication to lead to a correct administration. So in those dead ball officiating, usually something's not going well. So first of all, we need to recognize it, then communicate it among our crew. Then the administrative part of it is the most important, that we need to resume the play the right way and have the right outcome. And all those three essentials will rise up for sure the level of dead ball, our efficiency, our dead ball officiating. And each essential will include many aspects, and we'll try to break down those tonight with you all.
Excellent. All right, so here's a scenario that we would like your participation on in the chat box. Okay, so scenario, there's a whistle on the play. Something happens, say a foul. So what we want you to do is, in the chat box, establish sort of the mental checklist of questions you're going to ask yourself. So in two situations, one, what if you're the calling official? What sort of questions would go through your mind? So let's just start with that, and then we'll get to the second one. So Dave Maxon, okay, so he's using the acronym PPCT. Okay, we're going to learn more of that. Obviously, Dave was on the call before. Thank you, Dave.
He's a great learner.
Yes, he retains information. What else? What else are you going to ask? And I'm not going to tell you what PPCT is, because we're going to go over that. All right. So from James, who's the player in the act and shooting? Caitlin, missed that. Who's the foul on? What's the consequence? Who's the shooter? What's the clock at? Really good, Nick. Great questions. Yes. Good job. Those are really good answers. I don't have a whole lot to add to that, but if you're the calling official, counting or canceling the basket, yes, excellent. If you're the calling official, again, looking at the reaction of the other team, that's important. But also what I talked about earlier, fighting the instinct to mentally relax and turn away from the play too quickly, right? So if you're the calling official, what's going through my head? Well, what was the level of contact, and should I stay for a second, right? Do I need to stay with the play? All right, so second, what are the responsibilities of the non-calling official? And Perry, good answer. Is the play actually over? What are some of the other actions that might be going on? Excellent. What are some of the other responsibilities? Who's the shooter? Good, so you're helping who the shooter is. Get the ball. Well, getting the ball is not necessarily a responsibility. I often will let players get me the ball, because what I want to do is I want to keep my eye on all of the players while my partner reports, right? But stay with the player involved momentarily. Eyes on all players, yes. Check the clock, very good. Non-callers, find the shooter where they should be, yes. All right, excellent job, you guys. So yeah, if you're the non-calling official, you have the majority of the responsibilities, all right? And this is the time where to really step up your game and train yourself into this new habit of taking care of business, basically. So when the whistle blows, clock stop, hopefully you check to see that the clock has stopped. One of the first things. You've got your eyes on all the players. Train yourself to just stop and watch. Okay, don't be too quick to move to the next position or to run and get the ball, right? Excellent question, Nick. How can I help? That's great. I think that is the best. That's the best question. And so that's what you need to be asking yourself. How can I help? Well, I can know if the clock stopped or not. I can know what the time is on the clock in case during that period of time from calling, reporting, and coming back, the clock has been changed, well, either the game clock or the shot clock. If it, or during that dead ball period, another action happens, like Perry talked about. So excellent. So observe and make mental recordings of everything. Very good, Andrew. All right, good job, you guys. You guys are awesome. This is great, making our job easier. All right, so resumption of play. So the next thing you have to do after reporting is to, resume play. And I think that's also where the non-calling official can be really helpful in, getting the players set. So if they're going to shoot, the non-calling official sets up everybody on the free throw lane lines and, making sure that you got the right shooter. But if there's going to be a throw in, making sure that you have entered all the substitutes at the table. making sure that the time is correct before you administer the throw-in. Very important that a lot of people don't do is making sure there's 5, right? That's a big one.
No, it never happened. Never happens. Never.
It happens at the highest level.
Mm-hmm.
Let me tell you, we got a video to prove it. And also, you know, making sure that the other 2 or the other 1 official is ready, that they're, you know, they're ready, they're facing the floor, that, you know, they're ready to accept plays. So yeah, we still have people adding to the chat. That's fantastic, you guys. These are really good stuff that you're putting in there. So I hope everybody can see the chat and can take notes and learn a few things from it. So great job. Thanks.
Okay, that's awesome. So we just talked about, if I can go back, whistle and play. There's so many questions, there's so many answers, right? So our objective tonight is to put everything simple for you guys. So this is our mapping system. So just to start with, okay, dead ball. The ball starts when we when you blow the whistle, and it ends when we put back the ball into play, right? It could be for a short period of time, could be just a traveling call, but it could be longer, multiple fouls followed by a timeout, and you know, a lot of stuff to handle. So dead ball officiating should just follow a simple step-by-step process, and this is what we, if we can have one takeaway tonight, it would be that the acronym of PPCT. So it just to give you a way to follow and to prevent potential problem. It will never be perfect, but at least it could put you in the right state of mind to alleviate all the possibility of some trouble. So our little mapping system here, it says PPCT. P, the first is for play. Second P is for partners or partner. C for clock and clocks. We should have put S on those. And table. And table would include benches, decorum also. So there's a stop on the play, either a foul or violation. We'll do the example right after, but we, we need to stop. We stop the play. We need to look at our partner, quick glance at the clocks. Clocks are stop. Then we report to the table. As we report to the table before to resume the play, we do the opposite. So the little arrow at the end says that, okay, we go from PPCT to TCPP. Donc, so if we put it on a situation, let's say a foul situation, I'm lead underneath, I call it foul. So on the play, I should indicate, is it a shooting foul, or is it do we resume baseline? Look over my partner. Do we have a double whistle or not? No. Okay. I look over the clock, and this is really quickly, right? So it's quick. Look at my clock. Everything stopped. Perfect. I can go and report. So at the same time, when we come back, we do the opposite of say, okay, my table is ready. Everybody, the table seems good. We have a thumbs up. Nobody's up unless the head coach. So we look over the clock. We're good with the shot clock. Partners are ready to go. We put the ball back into play. So it seems simple as we look over the pictures and just the acronym, but the best way to image it will be with videos and to see how we can implement this mapping system efficiently so they could help you. So we could do the same thing with a violation. It's the same process. So later on a slide, we will have videos. Just remember the PPCT. We're going to analyze those videos together. And so that comes into that first essential of dead ball officiating, which is awareness. The awareness of PPCT, my play, what's the crime scene, my partners, the clocks, and the table, which includes a bench also, just sideline oriented to make sure that we get all the information to resume the play. So remember, PPCT, write it down.
Excellent, thank you. All right, so a few other dead ball situations I'm going to review quickly before we get into the videos. All right, so timeout opportunities. You see the acronym 2. Well, that's in the FIBA terminology. So that's what we refer to as a timeout opportunity. All right, so you know what? So many officials want to take this time to rest. You know, you've been running up and down the floor. It's a timeout. It's, oh, okay, good, time to rest. However, this is a good time to rest physically, but not mentally. This is a time where you need to be sensitive and aware to when, you know, what's going on the floor. And especially when teams are moving towards their timeouts, because sometimes, more often than not, they have to cross each other to get to their timeouts. So, and to get to their huddles. So, you know, there's potential for illegal activity to occur, such as maybe a technical foul, 2 people are jawing at each other, or an unsportsmanlike foul. Somebody walks by and gives them an elbow or something like that, you know? So, you know, these are the times to be, your awareness needs to be heightened as to what's going on. It's also a time to pick up on things, those subtle things that might be gestures, remarks that, you know, you need to keep your eye on for when the ball comes back into play. Watch those players and see to make sure nothing untoward continues. So, so that's, you know, also, oh, I'm not finished, hold on a second. During timeouts is another time a pertinent time to share pertinent information with your partners. So when you're in the huddle, you know, having these conversations, it's not about where you're going to dinner, or it's not about, you know, that, you know, this game's too below you or whatever. It's an opportunity to talk to your partners about, you know, who are the players we need to keep an eye on? What's the foul count? Time and score, or anything coaches may have asked you, any players who might have 4 fouls. And if it's at the end of the game, last 2 minutes, what are the last 2 minutes protocols, right? You fouls, play situations to watch for. It's a really important time to share information with each other, okay? So the next one, dead ball situation, is it happens during the free throws. So, you know, what should referees be aware of at this time? You know, if you can think of anything that during free throws you need to be aware of, you can write it in the chat box. But, you know, during this time, some things, just a couple things to be aware of is who's taking the free throws, who's supposed to be on the free throw line. That's really important, right? Also making sure the fouls are tallied properly on the scoreboard. You know, if there's been a technical foul on the coach, for example, make sure that the table doesn't add it to the team fouls. So you have to be aware of that too. You know, making sure the score is adjusted. Because bottom line, you know, if there's something wrong with the score, they're not going to go to the table, they're going to come to you. So you have to make sure everything's okay. What if a timeout's called prior to free throws? What's your procedure? Well, the first thing I like to do, and I know that MP does this too, is making sure that you verbalize who your shooter is. So everybody knows who the shooter is, so that when because a timeout, you know, you could have these long conversations and you come back and everybody forgets what happens, or where the ball is supposed to go and play or whatever. But making sure that you know, verbalize before you send everybody away. Four white has 2, or 4 white has 1 shot, or 4 white has 3 shots, making sure that the number of shots that are going to be taken, so that when you come back, you're ready to go. Ready? Okay, good.
Amazing. Okay, so we talked about a mapping process. We just highlight also moments in the game, free throw, timeouts, that might be more situation that would arise that if we're not aware, if we're not concentrated, we could get caught in a hard situation that we need to handle. So we have clips. We love clips, right? So it's going to be a 1 clip together. So we put the 5 plays in 1 video. So you will see 5 examples of a situation suitable to implement that mapping system or process that we just talked about, PPCT, TCPP. So if you want to take some notes or just be very focused on the video, the first one will be about a wrong shooter. Second play will be about too many players. We were just talking about it earlier that, you know, we need 5-on-5, not 6-on-5. Or even more. Play number 3 about a throw-in mishap. No, we're giving the ball to the wrong team. Play number 4, running clock. So the clock is running, we didn't pick up this. And play number 5, missed a free throw. So it's about 5 or 6 minutes long, and we will not stop the video until the end. And after we show the video, we'll analyze it with you using that mapping system. We're good to go? Okay.
He now hits his 4th treble of the night. He moves up to 14 points. Morocco can't come over there, but it will be now baseline ball to Cape Verde. They lead this one back by 1 point. At one point this quarter was 12-3 in favor of Cape Verde, but right now it's 17-16. I mean, they can see Xavier kick it out. Mendoza nailing that one. Fouls been called now, so it looks like it's going to be free throws. You got to keep your composure. So we'll be now 2 free throws to Mendoza.
Out of bounds. Pressure start there. Number 15 replaces Aisha Muzina.
Lentien's getting swatted by Gruda. Here's Johannes in the open floor, up to Epupa. And Alamon goes over to help Epupa up.
And that attack by Ipupa, I don't mind because it was more one-on-one. She did kind of have a step. In the first half, I thought Ipupa tried too much to force in transition.
Well, you feel bad for those France fans having to sit and watch their team get a beating like this, and you hope for their sake that
Gamble. Oh, it gets rejected by Toure. Now Toure catches it. He beats Gamble down the line, and he was fouled by Karn. Another look. They want to see if it was an unsportsmanlike. Well, could be. Yeah, they're calling it unsportsmanlike, so that'll be 2 free throws and possession. So Toure at the line. So you could call it a break, I guess. But Toure makes both free throws. Karn has the unsportsmanlike and possession. So this could be a...
So we had 5 situations. The first one was about a wrong shooter, too many players after, throw-in mishap, running clock, missed free throw. I guess we got until the too many players or the miss throw-in.
Throw-in mishap, I think.
Okay. So what we're gonna do with you all is just try to implement that mapping system, and we'll review 2 clips. Let's start with the first one, which is the throw-in mishap. Hopefully this one will work fine. It's only like a minute and a half. Hopefully it's not too choppy and I don't disappear. It seems like my Zoom asked me for an update for whatever reason. So, okay. So let's look over at play number 3, which is a throw-in mishap that, they're giving the ball to the wrong team, and how we can use that mapping system to prevent those kind of situations. So let's look over that video. Okay, so Nadine, can you see this? We're good?
Yep.
Okay, so on that video, on that play, so the play is actually a violation. She's out of bounds. Red is out of bounds. So play is a violation. Okay. We continue. Well, actually on the play. So there's a red with an X, a red dot with an X. So the calling official right away doesn't acknowledge the partner. So there's no eye contact, no nothing. So there's already one missing element that may put us in trouble. Sometimes we find our way out of situation, but okay. Then just before it was the clock, we gave the official, okay, we think she did looked over the clock, but she never looked over the table for sure. Okay. If we continue in the video, there's just subs at the table. Everybody is coming in, new people, new players. And we remember that we call it out of bounds on red. So the ball should be white, right? So she looks over the table. That's good. Okay, so that's positive. Then we don't think clock was taken care of. So we should have looked over the clock. Then never really acknowledged the partners. Maybe a partner would have helped that we were in the wrong direction. And then we resumed the play. So we were missing at least 2 elements. on those PPCT, right? And we resume the play with the incorrect team. And they're also shooting and scoring in the wrong basket. So just in that video, there's a simple way to implement this little mapping process of, okay, we're on the play, we need to look over our partner, everybody's ready, clock, table, then we come back. Just having that little mapping system could have prevent this situation. Maybe the partner would have, oh, I'm out of position, should be white. Now we just go quickly, we think it's a quick inbound play, and now we put ourselves in a bad situation, right? So obviously at the end, so the play continue, and then they recognize it. Like, okay, oh my God. So we gave the ball to the wrong team and they score. So this kind of situation is perfect for that dead ball officiating awareness and putting into play that little mapping system. Nadine, anything to add?
Yeah, you know, I think one of the biggest things that we really need to make sure we do consistently is use our voice. And I think if we use our voice, especially right at the beginning, whistle blows, it's an out of bounds, you know, you call the out of bounds, white ball, right? And so you know, you project your voice so your partner's here, so that when you're giving the ball to the red team, at least your partners can acknowledge wrong team because they've heard it. They know who it should be going to. So make sure that we use our voice all the time on the court. So that's a big part of it.
Okay, but then we have the play number 5. You didn't have a chance to look at it at the first time, so we'll do it together. And I'll let Nadine do that one. So.
Okay. All right. So play number 5 basically is well, the referees go to the IRS to look to review the play. So there's a foul. Ball goes into the post, and there's a foul on the play. You'll see it again. So again, we're going through the mapping process of player, partner, clock, table. So ball comes down, thrown into the post, goes up, and he's fouled. There's a whistle on the play. Whistle on the play. The lead who makes the call doesn't make any eye contact with his partners. He's pointing right at the table because that's where he's going to review the IRS. So to see what type of a foul, I guess it was. So he doesn't make any eye contact partners nor verbalizes what he's questioning, just walks straight to the table. If you see the partners, well, the partners have really disengaged from the play. The center over there is wiping his brow and looking down, not looking at anybody on the court. The trail is just staring at the end line and walking towards their position. And you see with the body language that they're totally disengaged. So puts their head down, walks towards the end line. So there's a lack of awareness as to what happened on the play. You know, did the ball enter the basket? Did it not enter the basket? Right? And in these situations, you know, we need to do some of the things we talked about before. And that is track your shooters, see if the clock stopped, communicate that the ball didn't enter the basket, those types of things. Then if we go to clock, you know, nobody checks the clock, right, at all. Keep playing if you keep going through. Okay, so he's going right to the table. He's done his thing at the table. So we have the new lead, the administering, getting the free throw shooter to the line. It's time to administer the free throw. On this play, there was no eye contact with partners. It's just, let's get this done. So the free throw is administered. Keep going. And here, yeah. So there needs to be a verification of the number of free throws to be awarded. Which isn't done properly. So he's got one. You can see the center has the free throw shooter shooting one free throw. Everybody's good with that. We go to the throw in and see we have blue questioning. Is there not supposed to be 2 free throws? Even though we had gone to the IRS, still didn't, was not awareness, we go back to awareness of the number of free throws. So that's really important with respect to that. And as a result of not going through what they needed to go through, the process, we get the play wrong. And we have to come back and use it as a correctable error later on. So it really makes a huge difference if you have this process, you go through it accurately in order to be able to avoid these avoidable mistakes. All right. Mm-hmm. So those were just 2 of the videos that we had. But I'm glad we had a chance to take you actually through them. Mm-hmm. Good thing. So
awesome. Yeah. Amazing. Yeah, this is the challenge, you know, with Zoom, with the video, and this is the essential of making things alive. But the main thing is just to keep that little mapping system into mind and to implement in the next opportunity. Okay, second essential of dead ball officiating. So we talk about awareness. I'll start with it, Nadine, and maybe you'll jump in for this one. Sure. We talked about awareness, and the second thing is communication. So we are aware that the situation happened, a dead ball that, you know, okay, which is not correct, trouble situation that we need to take care of. So a couple things to have in mind. Just there's a new in the last year or 2, FIBA crew communication protocol that was published. We can find it through the FIBA IRF app, I'm pretty sure. The basic line is, okay, when we get together, we need to know the facts. So what happened? Let's try to identify and clarify the situation, that what we need to handle. Because sometimes we need to ask the right question. So what happened? And we give, okay, the facts. Then let's try to find a solution and evaluate, okay, what rules should we apply? And as everybody give their input, it needs to be like quick and efficient. Then we put all the information together, and now we need to find how we're going to resume the play. What is the decision? What's coming out of this discussion? And if you go through that communication protocol, it's like a pilot. So pilot, they have checklists of what to do and what to say, and you know what to answer and continue. This is almost the same thing. And most of the dead balls officiating that are not resumed the good way, or it's about communication. How can we give the right information and also understand it's listening and, you know, giving all the information. So body language and voice is important also, and take time to speak to the players and coaches. So when we resume situation that, you know, they may not have been going our way, we need to be clear. Let's make sure we over communicate, and so we can do the thing correctly. Everybody's good how we going to resume and deal with that situation. And dead ball officiating is more like, when we talk about dead ball officiating in this way, is just more about when things go wrong, right? Because when things go well, we don't mention it. We don't need to go through that whole thing, but we still need to do the basics of, okay, stay in the scene of crime scene.
Scene of the crime.
Find our partner, we'll collect table. This is a basic. So when things go well, nobody noticed, right? But this is when things go wrong, then we get more the spotlight, the exposure. So
And we
anything
get
to
flustered.
add?
And we get flustered. For example, our videos didn't go right, and I think one of it's very frustrating, and you get flustered and you get off topic or get off, and I think something I just want to add to the crew communication protocol is that first piece around, when you come together as a crew, like this excellent crew here from the men's U Sport National semifinal, when you come together, the first thing you do is breathe. Just relax and have a conversation. Oftentimes when people come to communicate, they're like, and they're talking so fast and using hand gestures that nobody knows what's going on. So just relax, take a deep breath. And for me, that first question, what happened? I guess I would sort of break it down a bit more. For me, a crucial question is, for the calling official, what did you see? What did you see? And then have that person tell the story, paint a picture for us. Well, I saw blue 5 hit red 3 on the left forearm, or blue 5 hit red 3 in the back of the head. Be clear. And the clearer you are and the calmer you are, the better the conversation will go. Right? So I just wanted to add.
Yeah, for sure. And we need to include everybody. So it cannot only be a 2-person conversation. So sometimes the third official will have pertinent information that will get us out of trouble,
Yeah.
So yeah, that's good.
And if you're the U2 or the younger official and you have pertinent information, you need to share it. Don't feel that what you have to say doesn't matter, because it does. You're equal on the court. So share all the important information.
Perfect. So that comes to our last essential of dead ball fishing. So we had awareness, then the communication side of it. And then when we resume, okay, what is the administrative? Like, what's next? So we use our voice, preventive officiating, but okay, we're going to resume this way, making sure that each official is clear as what is going to happen, who's taking care of the ball, who's going to talk to the coaches. Let's have the plan of action, the action plan, right? And we need to follow the correct FIBA procedure and sequences to resume the play. So it's either on your fouls, multiple fouls, or RS. So the administrative is maybe the most important. That okay, there's a situation that happened, but how we fix it? How do we fix it? Our communication, then we have the plan, and we try to follow the correct procedure that's already given. So those were our three essentials. So we had awareness, communication, and administration. In awareness, we had that PPCT, right? Mapping system. And we come back to our active mindsets that we talked about at the beginning, Nadine.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna let everybody read this, but we have to always, even with the ball is going or when the ball is dead, we always have to have an active mindset, trying to think ahead and to problem solve and to have an action plan as to how you're going to deal with every situation. So to the key, like we've been talking about tonight, the key to dead ball officiating is awareness and concentration. Penalties, fouls, rule violations, they all occur even when the ball is not live. So you need to be ready, right? You need to do all these things that are on this list in order to be ready, in order to have that active mindset. We also need to make sure that we take care of the small details, and always be sensitive to what's going on in the other areas of the courts. All right, not just to have tunnel vision, but to be open to what's going on. There's certain things that you can control in officiating, and dead ball situations are one of them. Use preventative officiating during the dead ball situations to help your game, and use your voice. Let them know that you're there. Let them know what you see. Let them know what's going to happen next. Use your voice. Talk to people on the court. You know, create a rapport with people, especially the ones who are going to ruin your games. Befriend them. You know, so take this active mindset. Take the mapping system that we showed you, and go back to your dead ball situation that you had in mind at the beginning, and try to work it.
And we're going to leave you with that little picture of a zipper. So zip in, zip out. And I really want to acknowledge Pierre Marion, who's maybe the guru of the PPCT. He's the one who thought about this, and he was given through the years, and you know, we just added a lot of stuff around it. But this is where he had that in mind. He's a supervisor here in Quebec. So the PPCT is like a zipper. You know, you go P, P, C, T. Okay, we're good. Then T, C, P, P. So as you zip in, you zip out. And most of the time, if we do this, we're going to prevent many dead ball officiating situation that nobody wants to encounter, right?
Excellent.
Did you want to? Okay. No. Did you want to add a little something about the situation that, you know, we asked them to think about at the beginning?
I just did.
Oh, you just did. Perfect.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Use that. Try to identify, you know, what you could have done differently, basically, you know, go back to that. And also at the end of your games, sit down and think about, you know, different situations, and how maybe you could have applied some of these things, or, you know, been maybe a bit more aware, or concentrating, or needed to, you know, make sure that you had eyes on all players. So,
yeah. And if I can just add, just when you do reflect on, let's say, okay, that dead ball fishing, what was the missing elements? Was it my partner? Was it the clock? Was it that I didn't check the table? Or just try to find where were the missing elements in that little mapping process, and it's probably going to help you for sure for the next game and next opportunity. But thank you so much. Thank you, Nadine, again for partnering up with me. And I hope you all had a little something, and you can take notes of, and it can help you in your next game for sure.